Hare Krishna. So we'll continue from 1861. That's where we ended last week. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddesha arjuna tishtati brahma brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. So all of you have seen the movie Transformers, probably. If you've not seen it, you've probably seen the pictures of somebody sitting inside the robot, and the arms and legs are moving. So same way, we as jivas, as souls, we are sitting inside this material body, yantra, the machine, and we are moving this machine. We are desiring walking. We're desiring move your hands moving. And this is all orchestrated, or the interface between our desire and what the body is doing. The connection point is super soul, Paramatma. So, and where is he sitting? Riddeshe. In the heart region, Paramatma is residing. Next to Paramatma, there is Atma. So, Atma and Paramatma are residing together in the heart region, right? He is guiding us through. So, we decided to leave Krishna. But Krishna decided, okay, you don't want to see my face. I will hide myself inside you. And I will guide you through whatever ups and downs you go through. Wherever you go, I will be with you. So Krishna has never left us. We left Krishna, but Krishna hid himself inside us. In the spiritual world, there is no super soul, there is no Paramatma. You see Krishna face to face. In the material world, Paramatma is necessary because we don't want to see Krishna. So Krishna is saying, but you can't function without me. So I'll hide myself inside you and I'll walk you through. I'll guide you through. I'll take you through different, whatever you're going through. So just imagine for a second, inside our belly, there are so many bacteria, right? Probiotics, we say, that help us digest the food. Such fickle things are there in the belly. And in every bacteria, there's super soul residing, right? So Krishna is holding the hand of every living entity. He has never left us. So that's Krishna's greatness. And that's what he's saying here, that I am here guiding the actions, right? The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart to Arjuna and is directing the wanderings of all living entities, right? So we get hungry, we get thirsty, we get sleepy, we we feel certain things, certain emotions, all of this, right? So there's always guidance, there's always pushings, right? And what to speak of those who are chanting Hare Krishna for a very long time, great yogis, great sannyasis, who can hear super soul guiding them, right? As we grow in our Krishna consciousness, I feel that is one of the biggest gifts that you will experience. As your chanting progresses, slowly you'll be able to distinguish between the Atma and the Paramatma, the super soul's voice, the inner voice, and the mind's voice. The mind will be like, I want to eat that jalebi. And you'll think, oh, Krishna is telling me. Initially, that's what the mind, we just don't know how to distinguish between the mind and the Paramatma's voice. But eventually we are able to, as the cacophony, all the noise kind of settles down, we are able to recognize, aha, Krishna is guiding me. Something doesn't feel right. Something, I should probably not do this. I should probably do this. Oh, I must have hurt somebody's sentiment. Something feels inside my heart that somebody is hurt. Maybe I should pick up the phone and call that somebody. And turns out that yes, that person, although you didn't intend to, but the person felt hurt. So like that, Krishna guides you, right? As Paramatma, when you're surrendered, when you're chanting, when you have clarity of thought. What does meditation do? It gives you that clarity of thought, the ability to discern between this and that, material and spiritual. So mind is material, super soul's voice is obviously spiritual, right? So as you experience that guidance, things become a lot easier in life. For us, it's difficult because we are too intelligent. There's too much going on. For an ant, it's very easy. If there is a little sugar candy or a sugar, Super Soul will tell the ant, there is sugar, there is your food. And a whole community of ants will line up and then they'll come to taste the sugar. The birds, very easy for them to hear Super Soul, right? They can cross continents, migratory birds, they can cross countries, and they can come back guided by Super Soul. People who live in nature can appreciate this very much, right? But we, being who we are in our Kali Yuga, in our upbringing and whatnot, we are completely mixed up with so many different voices in the head. From the newsreader to the internet to the YouTube to the this to that thought, this thought, all kinds of thoughts. Right, someday we will be able to also be guided by Krishna. Srila Prabhupada was always guided by Krishna. There are so many stories of Srila Prabhupada. One time they were going to the airport to drop Srila Prabhupada off. And generally it takes half an hour to go from the temple to that particular temple to the airport. So Prabhupada said, what time are you guys leaving? They said, Prabhupada, we'll leave half an hour before the flight check-in. At that time, there was not so much security check and this and that. Today, it's a lot more different. Back in the days, people were allowed to go in very easily to the flights. So half an hour before we'll leave, they said. Prabhupada said, no, we will leave 2 hours before. They said, why 2 hours, Prabhupada? We'll have sufficient time. No, we will leave 2 hours before. So they left. Prabhupada reached the airport. But when they were returning back to the temple, they saw that there was a huge accident. And because of that accident, the car would have been stuck and they would have missed the flight. But somehow Prabhupada, particularly that day, left 2 hours early. So he didn't have to be stopped by that accident. And then devotees realized, wow, Prabhupada was hell-bent on leaving 2 hours early. Super Soul must have indicated to him, right? Another time when Srila Prabhupada was trying to print the Bhagavad Gita for the first time in America, they were using Macmillan's Bhagavad Gita. So Macmillan's Bhagavad Gita was the Bhagavad Gita we studied before Bhaktivedanta Book Trust was created, our ISKCON's own publishing house. So Macmillan was very big and still is very big. But devotees never thought they would print Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. So they approached a few times and they were rejected. One day Srila Prabhupada just asked Brahmananda Prabhu, he said, you should go today itself and tell them you have the manuscript for the Bhagavad Gita and that they should take our Bhagavad Gita and print it under Macmillan brand. And Brahmananda Prabhu said, Prabhupada, we have been there multiple times. They have rejected us. It's not going to work. Prabhupada said, your guru is telling you, you must go. And it was very stern face. Prabhupada was just not in a mood for negotiation. He was like, your guru has told you, you must go. And Brahmananda Prabhu went. And he was wondering, how do I do this? Right? He knew the accountant there, but accountant has nothing to do with the editorial work in such a big publishing house. So he talked to the accountant. He's like, look, you're the only person I know here. Is there any way you can get me to the editor-in-chief or any editor who can take a look at these manuscripts and print them? And he said, well, there goes the editor-in-chief. Why don't you talk to him? He's walking right now. So Brahmananda Prabhu was in his saffron, robes and everything. And he walked up to the editor-in-chief and said, sir, can you give me 2 minutes of your time? Here is, I have this manuscript for the Bhagavad Gita, very authentic, written, translated by an Indian saint who's living in New York City right now. And he requested that I come to you and ask you to publish it. The editor-in-chief responded saying, we have printed all the holy books except for the Bhagavad Gita. And I was looking for some authentic source. And you just happen to be the answer of my prayers. Please give me the transcripts. I will print it. He said, but don't you want to take a look at it? He said, we will take care of all the editorial work. We will print it. You said it's an authentic source from an Indian Swami. Wonderful. Done. So Brahmananda Prabhu was literally, he didn't know what happened. He was jumping in joy. He came running, met Srila Prabhupada, said, Prabhupada, you won't believe me. The editor-in-chief took your transcript and he's going to print the Bhagavad Gita as it is under Macmillan brand. Prabhupada said, as if he knew. So Brahmananda Prabhu's realization was Prabhupada just had the idea already that this is going to work out. That's why he pushed him so hard that just go. Your guru is telling you, just go. And the timing was perfect. At that moment, at that time, this worked out. Same thing with, many, I can tell you stories all night long of Prabhupada's life and even lives of many devotees, where this is such a very unique gift where Krishna in the heart inspires wonderful things. Even what to speak of devotees, even non-devotees, right? People like Beethoven, who was a deaf musician, making such wonderful compositions of music. People like Ramanujacharya, who's a mathematician, right? Multiple times he said that his reasoning for mathematics, the answers come to him. He doesn't actually, before he can do the mathematical jargon, the results come to him. So many such people are there whose lives have been basically an outcome of realization, and with realization coming from Paramatma. So this is a very, very important and secret, confidential resource that as devotees, we eventually start gaining when our relationship with Krishna deepens, our surrender deepens, we slowly start receiving this mercy of hearing the super soul and being guided by super soul from within. The guidance is always there. It's just our clarity has improved. Our antenna is like the radio, right? The sound waves are there. But when you have a radio and you can tune the radio to the right radio station, you can listen to the music or you can listen to the chat show. Same way, Krishna's mercy is there. Paramatma's guidance is always there. But when we tune our radio to the right channel by chanting Hare Krishna, by living a sattvic life, by aligning ourselves to the process given by Bhagavad Gita, slowly but surely, we are able to tune in to Super Soul channel and thus get directly guided by the Lord. And wonderful things happen. Life becomes a lot easier. We can predict things. We can understand, something doesn't feel right, and we can take precautions. Of course, it's Kali Yuga. Bad things will happen. Good things will also happen. But at least when you know, you're prepared, right? So the Bhagavad Gita has been spoken right before the war. Krishna has already spoken to Arjun. I have already killed all these armies and Kauravas and everything. You simply do what I'm telling you to do and you take the credit, right? I've already killed them. They're already dead. In the Vashvarup form, he showed Arjun that they have been killed already. The war is done. I've taken care of it. You just take the credit. That's all. That's the beauty of being guided by Krishna. Things will happen in this material world, but Krishna is there. All right. 1862. Yes, Pradeep Prabhu, please.
Prabhuji, few sessions back, you told something about seva and realization. Means more you involve seva, then there will be more realization.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, seva is basically practical. Today we are doing theory. When you put the theory into action, that is seva. And when you do seva, you get the aha moment, and then you get a appreciation for the nature of Krishna. For example, meeting you in Vrindavan, I got an appreciation for your sense of humor and the fact that you are a shy person, but you're not a shy person in the midst of friends when you get to know people, right? So I kind of got a sense of your personality type. So when you do seva and you get a reciprocation from the Lord and you get realizations of what you've learned, implementing those principles in your seva, getting the reciprocation from Krishna, getting the realizations, you get small understandings of the personality of Godhead. And thereby, you're able to, so when the voice of Super Soul comes in, you're able to better understand what he's saying. For example, Krishna is not cruel, but something difficult is going to happen. Okay, that means I need to go through this difficulty to get to something better. There was a very dark period in my life, and my mentor, because he knows Krishna better, I was like, what is happening? You know, I don't understand. I don't know how to process this situation. It's like almost endless darkness. He said, Krishna has a very big plan for you, and he's training you for it, it seems, right? There's no reason for you to go through so much hardship, but he has planned for you and is training you. So just go with the plan, right? Understanding that gave me a lot more hope that I can go through this dark period. Oh, Krishna has a bigger plan. This is just training, right? So seva, realization, understanding of who Krishna is, and thereby his actions in our life becomes much more easier to comprehend. When you comprehend it, the fear goes away. He's kind, he's loving, he's compassionate. This is an aspect of his compassion. Okay, wonderful. He's trying to bring up qualities from me. Okay, let me go with his plan. Does it give you a little bit of what you're looking for?
Yes, Prabhuji, absolutely. Means seva gives us more understanding about nature of Krishna. That is the
Correct.
basic thing.
Correct.
Yes. Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Sure. It's like when you, let's say you're doing seva for your son, right? You're serving your son. He likes milk hot at a certain degree, not too hot, not too cold. Maybe sugar, certain degree. Maybe Complan, you put, or some chocolate you put into the milk that he likes, or he likes vanilla. So you get to, by serving him, you get to learn, my son likes this, he doesn't like this. And eventually, as a father, as he grows up, you'll be able to predict certain behavioral patterns that my son would never do this, my son would do this. The same way
Right.
about Krishna also, you're like, Krishna is, he's not like that. He would not do this. Must be something that he's trying to get me to understand. Until I understand, he will keep repeating this process. So let me stop, pause, pray, figure out, and then I'll go forward. Like one of the things I have learned to appreciate is Krishna will teach me a lesson, and he's determined he'll teach me a lesson. If I ignore that, he will keep bringing similar circumstances over and over and over again. And when this happens twice, thrice, I'm like, hold on a second. Happening multiple times, same thing. Krishna has to teach me something. Pause. What is it that you want to teach me, Krishna? I pray to you, my dear Krishna, give me intelligence so I can understand what you want to teach me. Then I'll talk to my mentor, or I'll read the Gita. Some realization will come. Aha, that's what you want me to learn. Got it. Right? And then I'll go for validation to my mentor. And he'll be like, yes, right realization. Got it. Right? So that's one of the things Krishna does is repeatedly, if he's putting in a situation, understand he's trying to teach you a lesson. Unless you learn it, he'll keep repeating it. So like that, throughout your life, it becomes a game of learning about God and his personality. And it's so wonderful to know God, right? People say, I know so and so, so and so. You know God and his personality. Nothing could be more pleasurable than that.
Right, Prabhuji.
All right. Yes, Yogesh Prabhu, please tell me.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisance.
Please accept my humble
Prabhuji,
obeisance too.
thank you. Prabhuji, there was a realization of some sort that I had like few months ago. I was being put into certain situations, and I would have a gut feeling coming in, and I know it's correct for some reason, but yet I go against it all the time. So, and by the end of it, I'm always safeguarded and I'm brought out of that situation safely. But why is it that tendency to go against it? Why is there a tendency to go against it, and what can we do to comply with it or make it better or understand it better and be convinced about it?
Because we don't know what to trust, right? Let's say you're at an airport and there are multiple announcements happening for a flight to Chennai. And unless you know the flight number, there are, let's say, multiple flights going to Chennai and half an hour difference. Announcement says gate change for flight to Chennai. You'll be running to the new changed gate unless you know the flight number. So same way, when all these cacophony of voices are there, your mind, some preconceived notion, super soul, something else. So naturally, you don't know who to trust. And that's what, at the initial level, we don't know how to hear super soul. And that is why we continue to chant, we continue to deepen our relationship so that we can recognize the voice of super soul. Like I was telling Pradeep Prabhu, as you move in bhakti, as you get to know Krishna's personality, Krishna's voice will also be, detectable to you. You'll be able to tell this is super soul, this is mind, right? So this dream is something, inspirational. This dream is just a dream. So those distinction comes with our familiarity with Krishna's words and Krishna's, bhakti process. It's a gift that Krishna gives us slowly. So we start recognizing him. So initially that is only natural. And as you continue to chant, slowly, you start recognizing this from that.
Understood, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, moving on. 1862. Tam eva sharanam gacha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapyasi shaswatam. O sign of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. So I'm sure you can recognize we are in 1862. 1866 is coming, the ultimate verse of Bhagavad Gita, ultimate instruction from Krishna. So the surrender theme begins here on, right? O sign of Bharata, king of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. A living entity should therefore surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, and that will relieve him from all kinds of miseries of his material existence. By such surrender, not only will one be released from all miseries in life, but at the end, he will reach the Supreme God. The transcendental world is described in the Vedic literature as Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. Since all of creations is the kingdom of God, since all of creation is a kingdom of God, everything material is actually spiritual. But Paramam Padam specifically refers to the eternal abode, which is called the spiritual sky or Vaikuntha. So the material world is also in the spiritual world only. So we are not outside creation, we are inside creation, entirely spiritual, with a material cloudy area where material world exists. It's a very small place. 98% of souls are in the spiritual world only. 2% are hanging in this few universes that are there in the material world. But what is being referred to as eternal abode is Krishna's home, right? That's Golok Vrindavan, which is called the spiritual sky or Vaikuntha. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Sarvasya Chaham Radhisannavishta. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart. So his recommendation that one should surrender unto the super soul sitting within means that one should surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna has already been accepted by Arjuna as a supreme. He was accepted in the 10th chapter as Param Brahma, Param Dhama. So Arjuna already accepted Krishna after understanding this is God. He's like, you're Param Brahma, you're Supreme Personality of Godhead. Arjuna has accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. and the supreme abode of all living entities, not only because of his personal experience, but also because of the evidence of great authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa. So great sages. In 10th chapter, Arjun says that great sages acknowledge the fact that you're God. And now, after understanding you and your greatness, I also acknowledge the fact that you are not just my friend. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the Creator. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, most pure, right? Okay.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Uh-huh.
So I think in the verses moving forward in around 1865, so what is the difference between the current verse and the upcoming verses, and why is the upcoming verse celebrated so much than the current one? I mean, both are
Current one is talking
pointing
about
in the same
surrender
direction.
to super soul. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shabdate, right? So Krishna is holding our hand. So from one to the next, and then in 66 he says, surrender to me. Who's he? Bhagavan. So surrender to super soul, surrender to Bhagavan. That's where we are going.
Oh, okay. Understood.
Right? All right.
So, Prabhuji, for last two verses, Krishna is referring himself in third person. Is that
Uh-huh.
because he is referring to the super soul?
Yes, he's referring to the super soul.
Okay,
Riddesha Arjuna Tishtati. As Paramatma, he's referring.
okay, got it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Itite jnanam akyatam gushyad guhya taram maya vimarsaytad asheshena yachchesi tatha kuru. Thus, I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do. This is very important to understand. Krishna talking about surrender is a very confidential aspect. You don't go around telling common people, surrender to me, surrender to me, surrender to me. No. He's saying this to Arjun after bringing him from all the way from his dilemma to Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, right? Or modes of nature, this, that, all the knowledge. And finally, he's saying, just surrender. That is the ultimate, process. It's just leave it on me, I'll take care of things. You just come under my shelter. Depend on me, I will take you. Right? So this is the confidential aspect. It is not possible for a Jnani to surrender. Why? Because the whole point of Jnana Yoga is intelligence. Their whole aspect is using that intelligence to decipher different aspects of scriptural understanding, speculating on this and that. Karma Yoga, action oriented. Your talent, your skills, your things, you work, you earn money. With that, you're donating. Ashtanga Yoga, your physical ability to, control your breath, and ability to stretch your body, and ability to do what. So it's all your own ability. If you see, the other yoga processes are on your own strength. Only Bhakti Yoga is where we borrow Krishna's strength. We say, my dear Krishna, I'm a beggar. I don't have anything. But you have everything. And you're my father. Aham bija pradapita. You're my seed-giving father. So I depend on you. And if you are with me, I can do anything. Impossible can become possible just by your mercy. And that connection is called Bhakti Yoga. When we connect to Krishna through Bhakti, we have access to all knowledge, all strength, all beauty, all renunciation, all power. Everything is there, right? All wealth, whatever is needed for our service, when we connect with Krishna, whatever is needed will be manifested, will be presented to us. That is the beauty of bhakti. You don't miss out on gyan, you don't miss out on karma, you don't miss out on anything. You have all of that, and you have Krishna. And with Krishna on your chariot, how can you lose? Right? So that's where we are going. So surrender means Krishna is now with you. Krishna doesn't like arrogance. He's God. He doesn't have to give time to those who are arrogant. We deal with the arrogant people, right? As devotees, as preachers, we deal with the arrogance. Once we clean them up, we say, okay, now Krishna, here is, I'm presenting this devotee to you, right? So the arrogance part, Krishna is not interested. But when one surrenders, oh, you're depending on me, now I'm responsible for you. I have to take care of you because you're not, looking here and there for shelter. You've taken my shelter. And Krishna says, who's taken my shelter? I see him equal to me. As a Mahatma, as a great soul. He's not gone to demigods. He's not gone to his own personal connections. He's come to me. And if needed, he will lift Govardhan Hill. If needed, he will kill the demons. If needed, he will make the sun come out after it has gone down. He will do whatever it takes. He's Krishna. So that's the beauty of surrendering to Krishna. That he can make impossible possible, not only in Mahabharata, but also in your life, wherever you are. So this is the confidential secret, right? This is the secret of Bhagavad Gita's surrender. Thus, I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. From chapter 9, it is getting confidential, more confidential, and now you're in most confidential zone, right? This is not for materialistic people. They will never be able to do this. Their surrender is more based on, okay, I get this job, I get that money, I get this, I get that. Next thing you know, forget God. But for devotees, and Krishna is, you can't cheat Krishna. He knows. So for devotees, Krishna, it's all yours. Whatever you want, I'm yours. I'm your property. You do with me as you see fit. Here, the words, yathe chasi tatha kuru. As you like, you may act. So Krishna is giving Arjun the liberty. That you've given the most confidential knowledge. He said, deliberate on it fully, and then do what you wish to do. As a parent, as a teacher, as a mentor, as a guru, this is a very nice philosophy. You teach everything and you let the person choose what they want to do. As I was growing up, my mother, she opened my bank account, I remember in class 8. And she put in some nice amount of money there. I don't remember ever using a single paisa from that account, except when it would be her birthday, I would buy some gifts for her. Or my father's birthday, I would buy something for him. But other than that, for myself, never. Because she gave me a responsibility. She said, this is yours, you can do as you like. And as growing up, I've been taught to be honest. I've been taught to be controlled. I've been taught in a certain way. I'm very grateful to her for that. So when I'm given responsibility, I'm extra careful. We have, is Lily Mataji here? Yes. Lily Mataji is here. So, she also sometimes does that. She will tell me, whatever you say, Avella, I'll do it. And then I get very frantic. It's like, oh, responsibility. No, now she's depending on me. So I have to be very careful on what I do for her because she's depending on my decision making to make her decision, right? So that is the kind of training that we should be giving forward, that we train our children, they go through puberty, teenage life, college life, but the training is given and they're given the freedom. You choose as you like. So Krishna is giving that freedom to Arjun. He's not forcing him that you have to fight. Initially, he was like telling, you must fight. There is no bahaduri in not winning the war. You'll not be remembered if you run away from the battlefield. Da-da-da-da-da. But now he's saying, I've explained everything to you. Now you do as you like. Now, some people misinterpret this verse, right? They say, well, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says you can do as you like. So I'll drink this, I'll do that, I'll eat this, I'll merry-make, do whatever nonsense I want, because Bhagavad Gita, it teaches that do as you like. So it's very dangerous when you misunderstand it. Krishna is saying, do as you like to Arjuna after teaching him everything. Because he knows now Arjun can make his own decision. And when somebody chooses Krishna over other things, Krishna is very pleased. If you're dogmatically just going because your ancestors worship Krishna, so you also worship Krishna, versus you have studied through, seen all the options, and you're like, Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami, that's when Krishna's like, you're choosing me. That he likes, right? So he has given all of this. He's not forcing Arjun to do anything. He's like, deliberate on it fully, think through everything I've taught you, and then do what you wish to do. (1864) Sarva guhyatamam bhuya shrinu me paramam vachaha ishto si me dhridam iti tato vyaksyami te hitam. Because you're very dear friend, because you're my very dear friend, I'm speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear from me, for it is to your benefit. So fortunate, isn't it? Krishna is giving his supreme instruction to his dearmost friend, and we have access to that knowledge. All of you have struggled very hard to come to this point. So this is Krishna's gift to you. Now he's saying, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mam evasyasi satyam te pratigyane priyosi me. Always think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me. Offer your homage unto me. Thus, you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you're my dear friend. Always think of me. That means your consciousness should be Krishna conscious. So it's not like you're thinking about Krishna standing there playing the flute. Everything is connected in some way to Krishna. Become my devotee. Thus, when everything is connected, naturally you're a devotee of Krishna, right? Everything is Krishna-centric activities. Worship me. Literally, he's saying, worship me. Like so far he has not said he's God and whatnot. Now he's saying, worship me. Offer your homage unto me. That means Dandavat Pranam. Offer your full submission to Krishna. Pranam. Thus you will come to me without fail. Wow. He will not let you go. You will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my dear friend. Bhakto si me sakha cheti. Right? He is Krishna's dear friend. That's why Krishna is telling him this secret. Krishna is too humble to tell anyone that you should worship me, you should pay your obeisances to me, you should think of me all the time. No. But with a dear friend, he's telling him, this is the supreme secret. So let's look at the preamble to this. Because you're my dear friend, I'm speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is to your benefit. So those of you who are passionate about the supreme knowledge, just memorize this verse. And if you so desire, you can recite this when you're paying your obeisances to Krishna in the morning or in the evening, before going to bed or after waking up, when you're offering your respects to God. You can say, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Namaskuru, literally. Fold your hand and you're offering namaskuru. All right. And now we come to the ultimate verse. This is continuing, right? Supreme instruction. So, Manmana bhava mad bhakto, always think of me, always pay obeisances unto me, etc. Right? And then Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishami Masachaha. This is it. This is the ultimate instruction of Bhagavad Gita, 1866. Sarva Dharma Parityajya. So all varieties of religion Krishna has taught. And by religion, I don't mean to say Hindu, Muslim, Christian. None of those existed at this time. There was only Brahmavadi, Mayavadi, Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, this yoga, that yoga. Krishna saying, forget all that. Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Parityajya means abandon. Mam Ekam. Me only. Ekam Sharanam. Exclusively surrender unto me only. Aham tam sarva papebhyo. I will deliver you from all pap, all your sins, whatever you have done in the past. Robbing, looting, eating this, drinking that, addiction. Aham tam sarva papebhyo. Sarva papebhyo. Not one or two pap. Everything for every lifetime that is there. Moksha Shami, I'll give you moksha, full mukti, and deliver you. Don't worry, Masachaha. When we went to Varadaraj Swami in Kanchipuram, on his hand, Varadaraj means he's giving blessings. What is the ultimate blessing? This. So Varadaraj Swami's hand says, Masachaha, don't worry, I'm there for you. In diamonds, it is written, Masachaha. Right? So abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. The Lord has described various kinds of knowledge and process of religion. Knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of the super soul, knowledge of the different types of orders and statuses of life. Right? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, all kinds of rules and things are there, right? Knowledge of the renounced order of life, knowledge of non-attachment, sense and mind control, meditation, etc. He has described in so many different ways, different types of religion. Now, when summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that Arjun should give up all the processes. And that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. He's speaking first person singular, not to Paramatma, not to Brahmajyoti, but to me, to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reactions, for the Lord personally promises to protect him. In the 7th chapter, it is said that one only who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to worship of the Lord. Thus, one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Sri Krishna, he is automatically freed. There is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. That's why we don't do prayaschitta. It is not required for us. We simply Madmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. We offer our respects to Krishna. We think of Krishna. We live a Krishna conscious life. We eat Krishna Prasada. We chant Krishna's holy name. And by that, karma gets burnt out. Pap gets burnt out. We don't have to do extraneous tapasya and prayaschitta and all the karma kanda processes that the materialistic people do in the Vedic process. There is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. Not surrender out of fear, but surrender out of faith and love. That yes, I have come to the conclusion you are the supreme personality of God, and there is nobody higher than you. There is nobody who is your creator. There is no source of you. You are the ultimate source. You are the supreme being. You are my creator. You're my father. With that faith, with love, that you are my creator. You have supported me through kith and kin, through 8.4 billion species of life. I've left you, but you never left me. You've always been with me. With love, one should surrender. My dear Krishna, I am yours. I am yours. The process of surrender to Krishna is described in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshishitya vishvaso, goptrite varanam tatha, atma nikshepa karpanye, sad vidha sharanagatihi. According to devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order. But if by executing his duty, one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all these activities are in vain. So anukulasya sankalpa, that means accepting those things that are favorable towards Krishna or Krishna consciousness. Pratikulasya varjanam, rejecting those things that are unfavorable towards Krishna consciousness. Rakshitya Vishava, so knowing Krishna as your ultimate protector, ultimate shield, right? So Prabhupada will talk more about that. So one should be confident that in all circumstances, Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. Obasya Rakshibe Krishna, E Vishwas Palon. Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes us into Bengali, the Bengali song. Sharanagati, he has many songs describing the process of surrender. So this is Hari Bhakti Vilas giving the sutra, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur further boils it down in his beautiful songs. That knowing that Krishna will protect me, that's for sure. Like Prahlad Maharaj, as he was falling from the mountain, as they were throwing him down the mountain, he was completely chilled. He was completely peaceful, that Krishna will protect me. Somehow or other, in his own sweet way, he will protect me whenever he desires. And he was right there at the bottom to protect him, right? Now, protection comes in many forms. We have discussed that before. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should surrender Krishna. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. Exclusive shelter. Not like Krishna is there, Ganesh is also there, Lord Shiva is also there, somebody is also there. No. Exclusive devotion to Krishna. My dear Krishna, either you save me or I die, but I'm not going to anywhere else. Right? You're my exclusive shelter. Krishna likes that. He will test us. Are you sure? You just want to surrender to me, or you have many other backup plans in case I fail? No backup plans. Either you save me or I'm done. I have no other shelter but you, my dear Krishna. There are different processes of religion and purificatory processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation, and mystic yoga systems, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he is all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. All of you, you're spending your Friday evenings rather than going and wasting it in a bar or someplace, happy hour apparently. You're here in the Bhagavad Gita class. It is very powerful. It's your attraction for Krishna. It is rare in Kali Yuga, right? It's very fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attached to the impersonal Brahman vision, right? Some of them are attracted by the super soul feature. But one who is attracted to the personal feature of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And above all, one who's attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna is full consciousness in the most confidential part of the knowledge. And this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. I'll repeat that sentence. In other words, devotional service to Krishna, bhakti, devotional service to Krishna in full consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge. And this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has been leading us all along to the ultimate, most confidential knowledge, that is surrender to his lotus feet. Karma yogis, empiric philosophers, mystics, and devotees are all called transcendentalists. But one who is a pure devotee is the best of all. So everybody's on a spiritual platform, the karma yogi, the jnana yogi, the bhakti yogi. But one who is bhakti yogi is the most intimately connected with Krishna. The particular words used here, ma suchaha, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, Krishna is saying, are very significant. One may be perplexed as to how can one give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender unto Krishna. But such worry is useless. Krishna is saying, don't worry, ma suchaha. All right, I'll pause here. This is big, right? We have reached 1866. Huge achievement for all of us. All right, so any questions on surrender?
I like the way Krishna
Krishna.
says.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Yogesh.
go ahead, Mataji. No, it's a huge promise that Krishna gives us, and it's very reassuring whenever we are in distress. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, Vibhuti Mataji, you had something.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I just
Hare
wanted to say that the class is so nice today. भाव विभोर हो जाने वाली क्लास थी और आप इतने पैशन से बोल रहे थे, इतने पैशन से बोल रहे थे कि even if somebody do not love Krishna, the adjectives you were using and the way you were explaining it, the person who's not in love with Krishna will also be in love with Krishna.
You're very kind, Mataji. Please bless me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I second my thought. What Mataji has said. Just listening very quietly. Wow, it's like a goosebumps.
Such is the
And
power of Krishna's ultimate. I mean, imagine how fortunate we are. He's giving us the most confidential of most confidential knowledges. Like many people started from chapter 2. They're not here. But all of you are so fortunate that you're hearing, you're in chapter 18. You made it to the most important part of Bhagavad Gita. And this is, I am very emotionally charged actually, that we have come, this journey has come this far, and we have come to the ultimate realization given by Krishna. It's a great gift. And I'm so grateful.
So
that
what we are going to do in the next, Philosophy Friday class?
This is still continuing. There are a few more verses to go. We'll have one more class, I think, before we finish the Gita. But after that, I was thinking of Srimad Bhagavatam, if others are okay with it. Or if we have any other suggestions, feel free. We can consider all of those. What we want to study.
Can I ask you, what is the difference between Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita?
Certainly.
I don't know actually.
So Bhagavad Gita is Krishna speaking in 45 minutes. He spoke the entire Gita. Principle. Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavad Gita is 700 verses. Srimad Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses, explaining those principles through real life analogies. So people actually living that principle, great personalities like Prithu Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, and whatnot. Narsingadev talks about, Lord Ramachandra talks about, and 10th canto talks about Krishna's entire Krishna Leela. So Srimad Bhagavatam is everything bhakti, end to end, all of Krishna's avatars, and then finally about Krishna. And that ends with what will happen in Kali Yuga, the predictions and everything. So it is end all be all of spiritual knowledge. It is Vyasadev's realized fruit of his knowledge. That's how he describes it. That Galitam Phalam, that a tree has many fruits, but the ultimate treasure of the tree is the ripe fruit, which is Vyasadeva says after compiling entire Vedas, Srimad Bhagavatam is my ultimate realization that I'm gifting to the world. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. And feel free if you think you want to study something else, there are many options. We can always go, but I would love to delve into, since we have finished Bhagavad Gita, now we qualify for Srimad Bhagavatam. So undergraduate studies are almost over. So next is graduate level, master's degree, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. And then PhD level is Chaitanya Charitamrita. That'll take a few years. All right. If there are no questions,
Prabhuji,
yes,
one
Mataji.
question.
Mhm.
As we haven't, attended all the lessons on Bhagavad Gita.
Uh-huh.
So, like we've heard so many of them, but not all. So,
Mhm.
are we still qualified to understand Bhagavatam?
Let me see. Well, Nupur Mataji joined a little late.
Yes.
Lily Mataji joined a little. So not everybody, but it's not about qualification. See, the way I will explain Bhagavatam, I'll be going through all the details and everything. So it'll become clear. Of course, it's far more clearer when the entire Bhagavad Gita is in our grasp. But even then, it won't be unrelatable because it's examples, stories, pastimes, so there's enough context that it will make sense.
Great. Great, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yes, Prayash Prabhu?
And Prabhu, I will also want to add one thing, that we are also going through Bhagavad Gita in morning classes. So if somebody misses, so they can simultaneously go through that
Correct.
and Srimad Bhagavatam as well.
Right. So 7 o'clock in the morning, if you're able to wake up that early, we are studying the Bhagavad Gita. We're in chapter 4 right now. So anybody who wants to go through the other verses, you're welcome to join in the morning classes. And I was thinking the evening classes, we can go into Srimad Bhagavatam. And once in a while, like we always do, we'll have some Leela here, some stories there, something else, some guest speaker, whatnot. All right. So it's 8:30. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Prabhuji,
jai.
can I
Prabhu.
request one thing?
Mhm.
Can we get your mentor to summarize the entire Gita in one session, because we haven't heard from your mentor in a very long time.
I'll ask him. Since you asked, I'll ask him. If he agrees, we'll certainly do that.
Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhu.
All right. Srila Prabhupada ki
Prabhuji.
jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.